243,000 teachers nationwide have lost their jobs over the past 2 years. In March of 2012, nearly 19,000 preliminary pink slip notices were issued in the state of California, but that was based on only 300 school districts. There are 1,000 school districts in the state. San Diego is one of these school districts that will be adding to the total number of teachers lost this year. On Tuesday, May 22, 2012, the San Diego Unified School Board of Education voted 4-1 to sending over 1,500 layoff notices, despite student, teacher, and parent protests. Although some of these layoff notices may be rescinded, it is a choice that could leave 1 in 5 teachers without a job, a choice that would drive up class sizes. But in the end, the school board said they had no choice.
The school board stated that with the state's deficit growing from the originally projected $9 billion to an extraordinary $16 billion, the school district could face even deeper cuts. However, it was the reality of the state's dwindling education budget and the $122 million deficit projected for the San Diego Unified School District that drove the board's vote. Many teachers at Mira Mesa High School have received pink slips. My colleague and I have interviewed teachers who did and did not receive pink slips to view their opinion on this issue. Some teachers have wished to stay anonymous.
In one word, sum up how this whole budget mess and teacher layoffs, how it makes you feel.
How does it make me feel?
In one word.
I can't think of one word. Mad, anxious, no. Why don't they grow up? That's all I got to say. Why don't they just grow up, right? Hey, if we got to make cuts, we got to make cuts. And we got to live with the cuts. But don't you come back to that table again and tell me you need cuts. Because we're already cut to the bone. Because I remember a day, I hope you add this in. I remember a day when I would call home for a student, right, to discuss grades. And then the counselor would call home. Then not only the counselor would call home, the school psychologist would call home. The VP would call home, right? Everybody's talking to the parents about that child, right? And we were catching it within 3 or 4 days, kid not turning in homework, kids with low grades. Now we're lucky if we catch it in a month, right? Without the cleaning of the classrooms, with standardized tests coming up, and all this kind of stuff. Sorry I'm stretching your one word. But it's putting more burden on the teachers, putting more burden on the administrators, and at the end of every year, it's turning into a big cry fest because we have to see our friends go, people that help Mira Mesa grow.
How affected do you think the school will be with this many teachers leaving?
I imagine it's going to really make an impact. If you lose a lot of teachers and then you put a lot of students in a classroom, especially for English as an example, that's a lot of papers to grade, and I like to be thorough with the feedback I give to my students, and there's no way that a teacher can do that if you have 41 to 42 students in one class, times that by 5. I think it'll really affect the students' quality of education.
Do you have a backup plan, or are you going to change your career?
I have a backup plan. My backup plan is to apply to other schools, and if I can't get into another school, I'm going to go back to school. So possibly change my career and maybe go into nursing.
What do you think is the solution or the way how we can fix these layoffs? Or
I honestly have no idea. I think there's so many politics involved, and I think it's dirty, and I think there's a lot of lying going on and cheating and stealing, however you want to look at it. I don't know how I would fix the problem. So I really don't know. I don't know.
And to end, sum up in one word how you feel about all of this.
As a teacher, I feel discarded.
So how do you feel about getting a pink slip?
Okay, this is my 3rd pink slip. My first pink slip was expected, though. I had it before I even started. This is the 2nd year, though, where I've kind of known for the whole year. So it doesn't feel good to know that you don't have a job the whole year you teach.
How affected do you think the school will be with this many teachers gone?
I think, first of all, the school will be extra affected or more negatively affected because we have younger teachers. So you'll notice a lot less teachers and a lot of new teachers that you don't know. with larger class sizes, you'd probably see the graduation rate drop, and you'd also probably see the number of dropouts increase. So I think it would be devastating.
What do you think is the solution to fixing this problem?
I think the solution is for the district to make cuts on Normal Street, to cut positions like area superintendent, and to make more cuts further away from the student. Seems like all the cuts happen closest to the student. The second part of the solution would just be to adequately fund education.
So why do you think that these layoffs are happening to teachers and not somebody else in the staff?
Honestly, I believe that it's a little bit of a political game between the union and the district, which makes me even more angry. But I also think the state has been promising us money that they haven't been giving us, and they owe public education more money. But they are taking layoffs in other areas. It's not just teachers.
Sum up in one word how you feel about all this.
Angry.
Quit teaching for a while period. I don't know.
What do you want people to know about teachers and pink slips? What would you want the public to know about the situation that's going on right now from a teaching perspective?
I would like parents and the community to get more involved because this is not only jobs we're talking about, this is education and this is their children's education. So I don't think it's just the teachers needing to get involved.
Even after pink slip notices are issued, teachers can be rehired this summer, but it is not guaranteed they will be reassigned to their original classrooms.